Hello, and welcome back to my channel, The Soren Historian. So today I wanted to discuss a little bit about what is history and what is the historical method. So many people, we've all had classes on history. It is the ordering of events and telling the stories from the past. But on a grander scale, history as the subject and more like what the profession is, it's both using the historical method and the sources and the evidence we have to try and construct the best ordering of the past as we can, based on the things that we have and we can study. So that actually leads into the second part of this video. What is the historical method? So the historical method, unlike the scientific method, it's a little different. Involves different sources and different theories. So scientific method, science, you're studying the world around you. So whether it be physics, chemistry, such things, a lot of ways, those are actually a little bit easier to form a hypothesis, gather evidence, form an experiment, and try and come to some sort of conclusion. Test that hypothesis, see if it's accurate or not, or put controls in place because it's around us. History, on the other hand, is in the past. We as human beings we have not discovered time travel yet, so we cannot go back to the past ourselves to see events as they happened. What we are limited to is the sources that we as human beings have produced that are still present today. So there's two different types of sources. First off, the historical method. We also ask questions, like especially with the anniversary of the Revolutionary War starting, asking questions like, I believe, let's say, Lexington and Concord. You ask a question about it. Was this actually the catalyst to the start of the Revolutionary War, or was it an action that took place beforehand? So you ask a question, and then you go gather different types of sources. You can probably form a kind of a hypothesis, or you can also try and just gather the sources, look at the evidence, and come to a conclusion for the question that way. Most of us have background knowledge, and we have an idea of the answer. So you go out and you gather mostly primary sources. So those are sources such as newspapers, diaries, archaeological evidence, monuments, speeches, uh, government documents, army reports, things like that. Things that actually came from that time period, people involved, anything that is actually directly attributed to some sort of source or person involved in the event. So, like for that question about Lexington and Concord, you could actually go and either look at some evidence from the Continental Congress, the British government. You can look for actual musket balls on the battlefields that took place. You can get diaries or personal statements of people from back then. And you analyze those, you look at them, and we're human beings, so obviously we're all dealing with some sort of bias. You're dealing with the reliability of those sources. Hopefully, you have to kind of come at it with it's reliable, but you want to gather all different types of sources as much as you can to try and compare and contrast to see what likely took place. And from there, you form an answer to that question. We also have secondary sources. So let's say me, present day, I'm writing a book. That, in fact, would be a secondary source. So they're useful for trying to kind of flesh out the information, try and fill in the gaps as much as we can. But also, what they're really useful for is seeing what other historians and other folks have thought about things in the past or how they've looked at it and their conclusions. Kind of see how you compare and contrast. Did you come to the same conclusion? Did you look at the same sources? Maybe they have better sources. Maybe they have worse ones. Where it's important to use a good wide plethora of different sources to use. So, other things just to consider, history, is it set in stone or is it changing? A bit of both. So, the events took place, what happened happened. We don't always know what happened because we weren't there. Many of the major events are fairly well documented, but at the same time, those sources that we have are very small compared to what amount was probably written at that time or the amount that was not written. You could have oral histories that have gotten changed via tradition or just loss of time. There are many different sources from like ancient Greece and ancient Rome. They'll make mention of different books that were written or different people's stories or travels, and that's thousands of years. Um, especially with paper and vellum and scrolls. The environment kind of destroys things. Take a look at the Grand Canyon. That's land. It's much more hardier than we are, and a lot of it's gone. So that's the kind of thing you're dealing with trying to find sources in order to actually have that. But that is what we as historians do. So that with my videos, though, some of them will probably be long, some will be short. But that's kind of where I'm coming from with my training and learning how to be a historian and kind of the videos I'm trying to produce. They are secondary sources. I'm hoping to tell really good stories, but I'm trying to base it off good sources and the best information we can. So hopefully that's something you can look forward to in the future. I just want to say thank you for choosing to watch this video, and I look forward to making more for you in the future. Thanks.